Did you have to ice your arm after yesterday? Doc McKenzie have to examine you or anything? The way you were slinging it?
Well, they gave me some good drugs, so I feel good.
Steno walked by at one point, and I said, "You look lost." He said, "Yeah, I don't know what the hell to do." Now, obviously, he was kidding. But is there some value to these 2 days for you guys as a coaching staff to be out on the grass, kind of just figuring out the logistics of having new guys in new spots and stuff?
Yeah, I think so. Every time we get an opportunity to go out there and work, and really for not only the new guys, but allowing some of the younger coaches to really kind of get out there and get their feet wet and get that experience. I think it's always a good thing for us.
Was that a pretty thorough workout for those guys?
Yeah, I'd say so, especially in some of those positions where we're a little thin, only having 2 running backs, and then we had a couple tight ends go down. Just from a player load standpoint, some of these guys' numbers were pretty high. So we're going to cut it back quite a bit today. We had a couple guys, come away with a few strains, and never want that to happen, especially for a lot of these guys. It's, they've been making the rounds. They've been traveling to a lot of different teams, and it's hard for them to get that consistent work. And so it almost feels like you're going from 0 to 100 without much of a buildup. So I think we got to be really mindful of that today, and just what we're asking these guys to do. And because the last thing we want is anybody to come out of this thing injured.
So the challenge is that, from conditioning shape to football shape, especially when they've been in conditioning shape for like 3 months.
Yeah, I think it's extremely challenging because you don't know what these guys have been doing. Anytime we get the players back, whether it's rookies or, our vets, and they've had a long layoff, you always kind of want to approach it a little cautiously, I would say, because you truly don't know what they've been doing. Now, you can preach it all you want to stay in shape. And I do think the fact that we had this, at the first opportunity, it gives our guys an idea of what to expect when they come back here. And so it's going to be on them to make sure they take full advantage of this next week, not only mentally in terms of keeping sharp with our playbook, but also making sure that they get some quality work in so that when they come back here and they get thrown in there with the veterans, that they can keep up.
I get that he's got to put on pads, you got to see it on 11 on 11, but how rare is it to see a big guy like Devonte with the movement skills that he has now that you've been able to see him on the field?
Yeah, he sure looked good in some of the pass rush things that we were doing. And, I love his intensity, his focus. You can tell he's been coached hard. There's a reason why he was a first-round pick. You can see it.
Matt, you mentioned the rookies keeping up with the playbook during the week that they're gone. Do you kind of give them like specific homework assignments? To say, hey, like when you come back after this week off, make sure you know like this portion. Do you break it down for them that way?
Yeah, I think each individual position coach kind of lets them know. And the good thing is when they do come back here, they'll be in the meetings with the vets, but we'll also have some additional meetings with just the rookies to make sure they're staying up to speed or try to catch them up as quickly as possible.
Man, I saw the drill with the ball carrier and defender get on the ground, helmet to helmet, and they get up and a little disoriented and pursue. Is that something new? Is there a name for that drill?
It's just an open field tackling circuit, but without truly tackling, just trying to find an angle and really incorporate kind of the core fundamentals that we talk about in terms of opening up, long stride, then you shorten your stride as you close the distance, and you shuffle and shoot your hands, just trying to maintain good leverage on the ball carriers. And it translates to special teams, it translates to defense and offense, quite frankly, with the ball carrier. So I think it's a pretty good drill for those guys to do, where it's you take out the banging.
And we see Romeo catch a couple of balls, or Christian catch a ball, or Quay have an interception, and we all kind of buzz about it and make note of it. How do you view these? How do you put these practices into perspective? Given what these guys are up against, given how little you've been exposed to them before this, how do you kind of just view these practices as a coach?
I think just as one practice. You got to put you got to string these together, and it's first glimpse. And like I told you guys yesterday, we're all excited about. You can see the talent on a lot of these guys, but it is a process, and I think that time will tell in terms of how good these guys will be, and we just are going to stress to them that, hey, you got to get better each and every day. Anybody can do something one time, but can you do it consistently every day and improve upon what you put forth the day before?
Matt, how beneficial was it to get the tryout guys back this year? Because I think last year you had to go through this with maybe 28 guys or something like that. Just what does that do as far as expanding, what you guys are able to do out there?
Yeah, I think it's great. It allows you to do a little bit more, and I just like the numbers in terms of competition, because I'm a firm believer in that competition will bring out the best in you, and so the more competitive it is, I think it kind of will show what these guys are all about.
Where Jordan Love is at, when you come back now for OTAs, how much does that help him or help you evaluate if Lazard is there, Randall's there for a few, because this is a great opportunity for him again this spring.
Yeah, I think you always want your guys in the building, but like I've been saying, it's all voluntary, and we'll see who shows up. But certainly, we love when our guys are in here. Again, the better the players, typically, the better the practices, and the more competitive the practices, and it's real work. And he needs all the work that he can get, and I know he'll take that. And again, I think it's every opportunity when you're a young quarterback that doesn't have a ton of game experience and you're not getting the bulk of the 1 reps throughout the course of the season. I think it's so valuable for Jordan.
Matt, I don't think I'd seen tennis balls since Getsy's first go around when he did that with the receivers along with the bricks he had them catching. What did you think of Rich's drill that he did with those returners, and does he have more stuff up his sleeve for the future practices?
Yeah, I think Rich is super intentional with what he asks the guys to do, and he's been doing this for a very long time, and he's very convicted in what not only the drill work, but what we're going to do schematically and how you develop players, and I think he does a great job of that. You can see his command out there, and he loves them tough, no doubt about it. And he gets after them pretty good, and but he also puts his arm around them as well.
2 more, please.
It was announced this week, it's Packers and Giants in London. How many times have you done that game, and what's been your takeaway from taking a team overseas?
Yeah, this will be my 3rd experience going over there, and I know we've had a lot of coaches that have had that experience. It just, you kind of take it in stride in regards to how you travel. It's a lot different. Typically, at least from my own experience, we've left on a Thursday evening. You fly through the night, you get there on Friday, and you almost go right to work and try to wake these guys up a little bit. And you might go on a quick walk, but then you kind of get into a Friday walkthrough type practice, and then you try to keep the guys up at least till like 7 o'clock or so on Friday evening, and then they can go to bed. But it is an adjustment for everybody, no doubt about it. I think one of the things that's so important for us is just making sure that we get our plan in to those guys prior to leaving.
What's the, I know it's only 2 days, but what's the benefit for Danny Etling, who was here for a little while, obviously during the season, and has been through this process before? Does it help him just to be part of this for a couple days?
Oh, absolutely. Again, he's getting a ton of reps. I think they're super valuable for him because, when we all get back together and into OTAs, Jordan's going to get the majority of the reps. So every rep that he gets throughout this rookie minicamp has been a great learning lesson for him.